All right, here's a quick tutorial on color correction, and then will be followed by one with the Essential Sound Panel. I just opened the ovens of Cappuquin, the Essential training on Premiere Pro for some example files. Here's a file that you can, see is kind of hazy. Something's not right about the exposure. It looks like it's overlaid with some sort of a gauzy white. This shot is backlit by the clouds and the brightness in the back, so the front is dark. And this one has a pal or a kind of color of orange that seems a little bit strong. Everything like the wall is probably white. And so we'll look at these quickly and how to fix them. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the scopes, and you'll find them in Lumetri scopes. So they're already up here somewhere in the interface, and I can see them right here. But if you don't see them, you can turn them off and turn them on again. Up there they are. Just brought them in. Okay, so now I'm already set to this scope, and this is one of the best and most useful ones to gauge brightness on your image. And here you can see it. So I'm on the waveform showing just the brightness, not the RGB. So what I can see here is that this down here, the 0, is the absolute black, the lowest and darkest part of the lowest, darkest, blackest pixel in any image. And if anything's pushed beyond there, it won't really go beyond there. It will just get darker and darker and basically smudge in the dark and shadowed areas. Up here is 100%, and that's the brightest part of the image. That's the max it can go. After which, you'll just have places like if this is this white band on her neck and the white clothing, you'll have that just basically lose all data. It will still keep its shape. It won't bleed anywhere around, but there'll be no, evidence of any sort of texture or cloth or anything else. It will just be a big white band, as if you had drawn something with a computer graphic program or something. So we need to stretch this out. We need to basically bring the blacks closer to 0 and possibly the whites a little bit closer to 100 or further up. And how we'll do that is we'll use the Lumetri color panel. It's up here on the right. And I'm just going to go to the basic correction stage here, and I will adjust the white point and the black point. So first I'm going to do the blacks, and we're going to bring them down. And we're not going to really group them much further, so when they start to touch the bottom on the right, they're already on the bottom. We're going to bring them something like this, so that we have them close to 0 but not touching 0. Here they are touching 0. We'll just do that, leave that as it is. So you can kind of go between before and after, and then we'll do the whites as well. We'll raise those up, and then we'll kind of come back, and it's adjusting of both. Then we'll go to the contrast and increase the contrast between the darkest and the lightest parts of the image. And I think I can go a little bit further here. Maybe bring the blacks up just a tiny bit so it's not quite as dark in the shadows. Something like that. All right, so this is after. This was before. And I may have a little bit of too much contrast. I guess I pushed it all the way. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so something like this. All right, that's pretty good. The temperature seems a little reddish and pinkish, so I'm going to adjust this just in tint up here. And that gives me a little bit better skin color than what I had before. It was like this. Now it's like this. And I'm going to overall increase the saturation a little bit in this shot. Give a little bit of color back. And let's see, maybe go back down after all. Okay. All right, so let's leave this here. I don't like the color around her eyes, but if I go away from that tint, it helps a little bit. And maybe desaturate, not go quite as far to this, to 110. Okay, so this is what the shot looks like now. This is what it looked like. So much improved. All this will stay here, as well as meaning stay here on the Lumetri Color panel, as well as be available in the effect controls. So it's right here. This has been added, this effect to Lumetri Color, and here's the values that we've added. You can now copy this from here, or you can go down here and say copy, and copy here, and then not paste the clip, but paste attributes to a similar clip. So let's see. We'll just do this. I'll just copy this over here. I'll remove the Lumetri Color here and say if I was taking the color correction from here, I'd go right click, copy, or just Command C, go to the same clip. Later in the timeline, a part of her interview in the same setting, same lighting, and here I would do copy attributes, paste attributes, sorry. Okay, and so what I want to copy is not motion, not opacity, not time remapping, but just this effect, nothing in audio, and boom, there we go. All right, let's take a look at the next shot. This one, again, Lumetri scopes. Okay, I can see this one is really squished, crushed, pushed all the way down to the zero line here with the blacks, and the top is a little bit below max 100, but it is very contrasty, has lots of highlights, so where the sun is kind of shining through, and it has lots of dark areas. Let's see if we can lift those blacks a little bit. And let's see, I'll leave those close to zero though. Let's see if I change the exposure. That brings out a lot more brightness in the shot. And then let me bring down my whites. And let me see if I can reduce the contrast on this. Maybe the exposure a little less. So it looks like my whites are blown out, but at least I have it exposed for the area that I want. And adding some saturation to this. And I don't think I can get the blown outness out of the clouds here, but I have the I can bring it down a little bit. Let me see. I can with contrast. No, I don't want more contrast. I'll take down the darker parts, and I'll take down the blacks a little bit, but not that much. Just like that. Okay, so this is what it looks now. That's what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. Before. Okay. All right. So let's do try to do a white balance right now. So again, this is on this clip, and you can find the effect settings over here in Lumetri color in basic correction. That's where I made them, contrast, blacks, etc. All right. Move over to a next clip. All right. So arguably, let's just assume this wall is white. Everything is being turned really red from the oven and maybe from a light that's also like this. So we're going to just do a quick, fast, down and dirty color correction and white balance. We're going to go ahead and choose white balance selector and go ahead and choose what we think is white, maybe even from the brightest part here. Boom. All right, so now we have this kind of selection. You can see that it shifted the temperature all the way over. So it was really, had a lot of orange in it, a lot of kind of rose color in it. If we take that down a little bit, it gives us a little bit more realism. Not everything is quite so blown out. The walls are more realistic. This is what it was before. This is what it is now. Maybe even take up, I don't think I'll take up the saturation, but I will bring up the contrast a little bit. And let's see, take it out even more. Okay, that looks good to me. All right, so those are the ones we have. I hope this helps. You can simply go through there. There's one last tip I'll say, that if you have this checked, sequence selection follows playhead, then as soon as you go to a new clip, it selects that new clip. Otherwise, it will just be the playhead will be over it, but the previous clip will be selected. Let me see if I can take this down here even more. Yeah, I don't want her to go green, but let's see if we go into just if we're messing around. If we go into, sorry, um, basic correction, color wheels, and we go to like the mid-tones, and we go away from the red and go towards the green. See what happens. So the walls are much more muted. She has more realistic skin tone. And this is versus this. Okay. All right. Thank you.